I wanted to retire in Ireland, but obviously play here, so I signed on as a player for 18 months. Didn't go the way I thought it would go, so I just nipped it in the bud after 6 months. I got involved with the coaching. I started obviously then with the under-15s, and I never thought I'd do my badges, but now I'm helping with the first team, doing the 15s, so and in a strange way enjoying it. Coaching's hard, it's like learning the game all over again, and this morning I'm in with the first team. I'll help out, and obviously a few meetings up in the office and a bit of fun as well, a bit of crack. It's, I guess, the closest thing to being in a football dressing room. I'll be back out tonight with my under-15 team. I still class myself as a volunteer. I don't take a wage or anything off the club. I just do it to keep busy and for the love of the games. I was actually laughing with my wife this morning. I have to wash my own kit, bring it home, so I'm not used to that. Premier League football, as we all know, we're spoiled rotten, so a bit more back to basics back here. But listen, Shamrock Rovers, everyone calls them, and I think going off history, they're the biggest club in Ireland. You know, going off success in the past couple of years, they're not, but I think they're back on the right track. Just what they're doing around here with the training ground, the facilities, the money they're putting into it. In a few years, no other club in Ireland will touch it. When I signed for Blackburn, I won't say it was the biggest club in the country, of course, but they were league champions, and they were the most exciting club at the time to be at. Shearer, Sutton, you know, the best team by a mile in England, and I ended up there, just obviously caught someone's eye here, went over there, they liked me there, and it all went from there. But you know, I was spoiled with the coaching I had. Alan Irvine, Ray Harford, God rest his soul, Kenny Dalglish was there. The football upbringing proper started then, and I was spoiled rotten with what I had.
Damien Duff joined Blackburn Rovers aged just 16, and over the course of the next 7 seasons would make more than 200 appearances and win the League Cup. In 2003, he joined Roman Abramovich's Chelsea, moving to London for £17 million.
I realised I had to go, you know. I hummed and hawed. I was, you know, a naive little Irish boy, and was playing great football at Blackburn. I had no reason to leave. I didn't need to go for money or anything, because that doesn't motivate me. It's just being happy and playing good football. But I realised to push myself from a professional point of view, I had to go, and I'm still a football fan at heart, you know. Ferran, Crespo, Desailly, your teammates with them all of a sudden, but you feel like you want to ask them for their autograph.
In his first season, Chelsea reached the Champions League semi-finals and were Premier League runners-up. But it wasn't enough to keep Claudio Ranieri in his job. Jose Mourinho replaced him and led the Blues to consecutive league titles.
I guess the first one was nice, you know. You become a fan of a club that you play for. They hadn't won it in 50 years, so it was a big day. But it just shows the standards that the manager, Jose Mourinho, demanded. Pushed the boys to the limit, and but just as a whole, I guess, just you think you've high standards and everything and so at Blackburn, but he just demands, and they went on to win it the next year as well, so that's the manager he is.
On leaving Chelsea in 2006, Duff had spells with Newcastle United and Fulham before eventually returning to his native island. Proud Irishman, he also served his country with distinction at the 2002 FIFA World Cup.
Pinnacle of anyone's career, if they're proud, you know, a proud countryman is to play for their national team. I was obviously young at the time, 22, 23, so you're more or less, you know, obviously a bit nervous, but just thinking and focusing on what you might do. Yeah, you want the country to do well, but you just want to impress yourself and do the business for yourself, your family.
Ireland began their campaign with a draw against Cameroon before facing group favourites Germany. Robbie Keane's late equaliser led to a decisive final group game against Saudi Arabia.
We had to win by 2, I think, to get through, so still, I guess, a bit of pressure, and I guess no games are easy. I think it was Robbie, Gary Breen, I got the 3rd. Just nice to get through to the knockout stages. My goal, tired legs, a clean strike, but not a lot of power in it. The keeper just dropped it in, but didn't score many goals for Ireland. But I guess it's nice to say he scored 1 in the World Cup.
3-0 win earned Ireland a round of 16 meeting with Spain, where Duff would again display the skills that made him one of the tournament's standout players.
We went on to play some good football. Spain obviously not the force like they are now, but we battered them, obviously didn't go through. That's football, you just move on. Irish being Irish, we went out and drowned our sorrows, I think, for a couple of days before we could get a flight home, but yeah, it was devastating. I guess the biggest regret is, you know, walking off the pitch that night. I always thought I'd be back at the World Cup again, but it didn't happen.
Despite earning 100 caps, the 2002 World Cup would be his sole appearance on the global stage. And having called time on a glittering playing career 2 years ago, Damien Duff is now focused on the next chapter of his footballing journey.
Long-term ambitions, I'm not quite sure. Listen, I'm the boy that went to Blackburn at 16. I'd like to think I'm not far off him now, so even now if I join in the first team, you know, I work harder than anyone on the team, so that's the way I've always been, and you know, if they drop below limits or anything, I'll be quick to stop and hammer them and nail them. Maybe a bit harsh on a 14, 15-year-old, but I don't know any different. When I was at Blackburn, Canada Gleesh used to hammer me, so that's the way I was brought up, and that's the way I'll bring up the kids here.